Drinking water? Yes, yeah, there's already a water main in place. Yes, it has. Yep.
Yeah, it's a residential street with homes now. Jim?
Yeah, if I may, there's water and sewer, Caseyville Sewer is there. Habitat just paid for a sewer extension to allow building on the last 4 lots at the end of the street where the cul-de-sac will go. We have starting our 4th house on Booster right now. It'll be a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, fully handicap accessible for the family that got the opportunity to participate as the homeowners. The street where we put the Habitat homes, we have already allocated sufficient setback to allow for the right-of-way that goes through there. There are a couple of homeowners who told us that whenever comes time to commit for the right-of-way, he'll sign off on that immediately. We may have a couple of problem areas, I don't know that for sure, but I think in general, people on the street are pretty excited about having new homes and seeing their property values escalate. They're probably not so happy once they get the property tax bill, but it's clearly cleaning up an area of the city. Well, the city recently annexed it from the county, but it's clearly making strides as a neighborhood now that is going in the right direction. That area had problems for a long time, and the enforcement division is very familiar with most of the homeowners, and probably on a first-name basis with most of back in there. But I think the difference that Habitat has made already is significant.
Thanks, Jim. Anybody else from the council? Jerry?
Yeah, we got an estimate on what improving the road's gonna cost us. This is for the management and the surveys and all the stuff we have to do, but not putting any concrete or asphalt down.
Correct, this is just engineering services, so topographic survey, design.
Do they give us what it,
Yeah, once we get a conceptual plan, we can do some quantity takeoffs to come up with a rough cost estimate. So by the time we get into budget process next fiscal year, I'll have those numbers.
you got an estimate?
Not off the top of my head, no. I think within the CIP, I think we maybe put $500,000 or $750,000 in there. But again, until we get a more concrete plan, it's kind of guessing at this point a little bit.
Anybody else from the council? Public? Roll call, please.
Van Hook,
Yes.
Hudson,
Yes.
Rosenberg,
Affirmative?
Mylert,
Yes.
Carney.
Yes.
All right, that'll move forward to next Tuesday.
Thank you. 2.3, please.
2.3 is a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement with Millennia Professional Services of Illinois, LTD, for the Pine Tree Estates improvements in the amount of $89,800. So this is an engineering agreement, spoke about, I believe, at the previous committee meeting. It's to design the traffic calming measures that are planned along Pierce Boulevard and White Pine Avenue. Those will include a combination of speed humps along with the narrowing of Pierce Boulevard to provide a shared use path on the south side of the road. In addition, we're going to be doing some of the improvements that are coming out of the Pine Tree Estates drainage study that Millennia is already currently working on. So the plan would be to take the findings of the drainage study, incorporate in these traffic calming measures into one comprehensive overall design, put that together and build it next summer. Again, we'll budget for it next fiscal year. In addition, so there'll be storm sewer improvements related to drainage study, and then also milling and overlaying all of those public roadways south of Pierce in addition within that subdivision. So again, going to be a very large project, but first step here is to move forward with the engineering to put together the plans and specifications to bid it.
All right, I'm looking for a motion.
Make a motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any questions or concerns or comments from the committee? Seems like we've talked about this for a while. Council? Jim?
One of the questions that has come up, narrow piers. Right now, we have parking on both sides of piers. Will that continue with this plan?
Yes, the plan is still to have parking on both sides of the roadway.
And then the multi-use trail, thinking about using the existing sidewalk on the south side and the grassy strip between the sidewalk and the curb to make that happen? Is that-
Yeah, so the plan right now, roughly, is to take that south curb, move it in 6 feet, remove the existing 4-foot wide sidewalk, and put in a 10-foot wide shared use path. So by gaining that additional 6 feet, taking away the pavement, you can add 6 feet to the existing 4-foot wide sidewalk. But again, it's not going to be adding on to the sidewalk, just for constructability and just the use of the trail, complete removal of it and repouring an entire new path is what's going to be designed.
And that will go from South Lincoln down to which pier?
It'll go from South Lincoln to the western limits of the residential subdivision, and then as part of the development that's planned west of there, they are being required to extend that trail all the way to Greenmount Road.
Any other from the council? Public? State your name, please.
Carrie Schaefer. Formerly
not
of
be
Ward
on.
6, now of Ward 1.
Wanna-
I'm sorry?
Hang
may
on
not
one
be
second.
on.
The mic's not.
Turn the,
hang on.
Hello, hello?
okay.
There you go.
Am I on?
I think so.
Okay. Carrie Schaefer, now of Ward 1, formerly of Ward 6. Question on bristlecone, you mentioned a storm drainage study. Does that, you mentioned it also, the storm drainage, it considers the south side or south of Pierce. Does that include bristlecone as well? Because I saw a video from a neighbor there, person swimming on bristlecone with their child.
Yes,
Well,
that
we had
area
that
was
rain.
included in the drainage study.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Anybody else from the public? All right, we have a motion, we have a second. Roll call, please.
Hudson,
Yes.
Rosenberg,
Affirmative.
Mylert,
Yes.
Carney,
Yes.
Van Hook.
Yes.
Okay, that'll move forward to next Tuesday.
And 2.4, please.
2.4 is a resolution confirming city council support for the East Highway 50 shared use path and the application for the Illinois Transportation Enhancement Program, also known as ITEP. So this is to install a shared use path along Highway 50 from the community park to the Recplex facility, Recplex Drive. What we're looking at doing is, and this is really coming out of that Forward 50 plan that was recently completed in conjunction with East West Gateway. This is a funding opportunity for this construction through the state of Illinois ITEP program. The funds for this can fund up to $3 million per project and as much as an 80% match. So we've submitted through this program previously for a sidewalk along this corridor for a shorter segment. We've submitted through TAP funding, others. So the hope is by extending this corridor all the way from Community Park to Recplex is going to score much better. I've attended a few webinars they've had regarding the program within the last couple months, and they talk a lot about connecting people to destinations and homes, and I think we're going to get a much better scoring project if we extend the limits of this. In addition, what I'm looking at doing is starting some of the preliminary phase 1 engineering work, working right now with, talking with consultant to develop a scope for that. That's another way to get additional scoring towards these programs when they go and get reviewed and get weighed against other ones throughout the entire state. So we're working on that right now. Actually, I have a meeting with IDOT tomorrow to scope out what that's going to look like. So I don't have an engineering agreement to bring to the committee right now to approve, But what you may see prior to the date that the application's due, which is the end of September, I think September 30th, might see, in addition to this resolution of support, an engineering agreement to start at least what's considered the Phase 1 engineering, which gets us to a project development report status, and that, again, will also help some of the scoring criteria. The only thing with that is then the city's going to pay 100% of those costs. Anything done prior to receiving the grant would be on our dime. Anything beyond that, we're looking at doing an 80-20 split if we're selected for this program. So at this point, this resolution is just to confirm our support of applying for the funds.
All right, I'll take a motion to move this.
Make a motion.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any questions or concerns from the committee?
I have a couple. How wide is this path? It's a shared youth.
So it'd be 10 feet is what we're going to design it
Do
for.
we have to purchase any land?
There will more than likely be land purchase requirements, and with that, since it is along Highway 50, those will need to be acquired in the name of the state of Illinois.
Also, give me an estimate on what it's going to cost us. You're saying 20%? 20% of 2 million is 400,000. What is the estimate for what would you think would be an estimate for the engineering and?
So the engineer we've worked on is starting to develop that cost estimate right now. You know, there's a lot of different components to this. There's land acquisition costs. There's a bridge that'd have to be constructed over Rock Springs Branch. There's potential signal modifications at signalized intersections. I mean, I can't specifically give a definitive number right now without an estimate, but if I had to guess, we're probably in the $2-3 million range, at least, if I had to guess. And again, until we sit down with IDOT and understand what all their requirements are going to be regarding it, because again, it's their right-of-way, they're just allowing us to construct this within, you know, their
When you're saying 2
property.
million like that, you're talking about our cost.
No. Overall cost of the project. So, you know, I mean, you look at the math, even it's a $4 million project, if we get the max funding for this trail, the ITEP program could fund up to $3 million of it. Realistically, I'm hoping it's under that. You know, so another way to look at it, if it's a $3 million project, then 80% of that would be covered by this grant. If awarded, we'd be willing, we'd have to put up the other 20%, which would be, what, $60,000? So.
Good deal if we can get the grant.
Yeah, I mean, and that's where this project is right now. I don't really see us moving forward with it standalone. I think there's opportunities for grants, especially now with this Forward 50 plan in place, that really helps a lot of the scoring. Also, if you show there's been a public plan out there, that there's been a lot of public input on, that helps raise the scoring of these also.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any other questions, concerns from the committee? Council? Jerry?
North side or the south side of Highway 50?
North side. So north side, you have Recplex, you have Schnucks, the high school, community park. It just seemed like the best side.
Put it on the south side, you got to cross to get to.
Yep.
Anybody else from the council? Public? All right, we have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Rosenberg.
Affirmative.
Mylert.
Yes.
Carney.
Yes?
Van Hook.
Yes.
Hudson.
Yes.
All right, that'll also move forward to next Tuesday.
And we have no other business on the agenda, so we'll open it up for public comments. Yes, sir.
Dave Pfeiffer, 801 Deer Creek Road. I just wanted to say I checked the maps from a previous issue, and the creek that's causing the flooding and the erosion in our backyard, I think is still called Engle Creek, in case you're curious about that. And wanted to rename it the Deer Creek. I didn't see anything that proposed that change. I'm sorry I missed the June meeting. Talked about the stormwater assistance program. I need to get some more information. I just looked at the minutes on that. To me, it just, it looks like it's $15,000 is a little light when some of the programs are hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars to fix problems that the city of O'Fallon has caused, especially in the Engle Creek area in our backyards, the flooding and the erosion and the lack of stormwater management. The city causes the problem, the city ought to fix the problem and pay for all the expenses and not just $15,000, because it's a lot of money for us to do that. And we've already spent much more of that to try to manage your stormwater and to protect our property. So this is very light and it's pretty much an insult. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else?
Vermal Air Ward 3. In the past several months, on the warrant reports, several different items have been purchased by the Public Works Department. And I was just wanting to get an accounting for what they're going to plan to do with them. For an example, in your warrant report of 540, you had ordered 500 water pits, encounters, and connectors totaling $52,770.72. You also purchased in warrant number 541 from Midwest Meter Incorporated, 81 meters for $8,265. I'm trying to figure out what your, in warrant 451 for your 2025 billing sludge generator domestic sewer annual fee for $32,500 is. And then I have wonderings on the Durkee Equipment Company that evidently they haul away the sludge. And we have, I mean, it just, each month it could, I mean, not each month, each billing cycle for a 2-week period can range from $7,800 to $2,600 each time, sometimes 3 times, 4 times, you know, different variances on that. I thought the waste treatment plant, the $18 million we spent for it was going to solve some of these costs that are out there, because I believe that's for hauling away the sludge. Is that correct?
That is not correct.
That is not correct. What is it for then?
Finish your comments and we'll answer your questions when you're done.
Well, I have no recourse if I go sit down and come back up then. See, that's always been the problem here, even when the mayor's up there, we can never get response because you only respond after the person sits down. You won't respond when the person makes a statement.
Vern, if you'll...
What?
If you will write out the specific...
No, that's supposed to be a public thing where you can come up here and ask questions and get an answer. And I haven't been getting them.
The questions you're asking have specific... You're asking about specific dollar amounts, and we don't have the lists in front of us.
Well, you went through them when you paid all the bills. And by the way, when you do this, a couple of years ago, used to be able to sit in here and you reviewed the bills and ask questions, and now, poof, you do it, and the public's not even invited to do it, to see what you're paying or ask questions about it. And the only time we can ask questions is either at this forum or the city council, and I don't get an answer until later on, but I might have other questions related to what they're asking, but I can't because I gotta go sit down, and that's not right.
I'm gonna try to give you a suggestion, if you'll stop and listen, that will answer some of your questions and help you. If you write out your questions to begin with and submit them, we'll have the answers prepared, and then if you have follow-up questions, it's easier to ask at that time. You asking for specific line items in a warrant that may have been 2 months ago or a month ago or whenever it was, I don't know off the top of my head, and nobody up here is going to have those answers for you off the top of their head. So if you write them out, what the line items are off which warrant, we'll be prepared to answer your specific questions, and if you have a follow-up, you can ask it at that time. You just asking about specific line items in a 9-page or whatever page warrant, you're not going to get those answers right off the top of people's heads. You have
If they reviewed it, they should know it.
Well, we've reviewed them, we've seen them, but we don't commit them to memory. You have them written down.
Yeah.
You didn't commit them to memory.
Well, I have some ones I have committed to memory, because,
Okay.
but that's beside the point.
If you write down the questions, we'll get you answers of what
Okay,
they're for.
well, my specific one is why we're buying all the water stuff, the meters and everything. I mean, what, are we gonna be building a lot of houses around here, apartments or what? What's the deal? That's a question. Thank you.
You're welcome. We'll get you answers. Any other questions or comments or concerns from the public?
Chairman, would you like me to respond
Sure.
to some of those? Okay.
Sure.
The 500 items that we referenced are actually ERTs that are used for the electronic reading of meters. Those go out occasionally. We have to replace them. They're battery powered. So that's 500 purchase of those. The water meters, multiple new developments ongoing, Brandywine, new homes, you name it. So it's continually having to buy new meters for new construction that's ongoing. The sludge hauling fee reference is an IEPA required permit fee we pay annually. And then the last one regarding Durkin, I believe, is the company. They are our company we utilize for our SCADA services that we utilize to track all the way the water and the sewer system operate. We have a person on staff monitoring that for us daily. So the bills you're seeing there is that staff hours time for a person to manage and control that SCADA system that we have to operate our water and sewer system. I
Thanks,
believe
Jeff.
that's all the
Thanks. If
questions.
there are other things that weren't answered, write them down, we'll get you answers. I want you to be answered. Any other questions from the public?
I'd like to make a statement.
Walter, did you have something you looked like you were going to add?
I was just gonna offer to have Jeff answer those questions, so.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Thank you, Walter.
I beat you to it. All right, if there's nothing further, I'll take a motion to adjourn. Oh, who?
I do.
Oh, okay.
I'd like to thank Jeff, Public Works Department, for the wonderful work they're doing on 4th Street. The residents are going through a lot, but they're really happy that you're doing this, and we really appreciate the work.
Thank you. I'll pass that along.
Now I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? We are adjourned.
Give me my computer.
Recording.
Yeah, unplug it. We'll see. We'll see if Grant, did he get on Facebook Live at all?
Well, he was on, but your